So, a lot of you might not think about all the challenges that disabled people face, and none of us can because none of us have all of them, and none of us can think of every little thing, even if we had all of them. This is way too much. One thing that people are not aware of, and I hate about the U.S. and many places, is how there's carpet everywhere. Carpet is a major problem, I know, for many people, and for several reasons. One is it really traps in a ton of allergens, but also dust, and it really dramatically hurts the air quality, which means if you have sensitive lungs, there it goes. If you have allergies, there it goes. You're more likely to have mold problems. This can really significantly hurt people, but probably causes more harm than people think just over long term. Or the slight little benefit, it also can keep germs longer. Another major issue that people do not think about when they're talking about this is it's just a lot harder to clean, which is if you're disabled or don't have a lot of time because you just don't have the money. So it's also classist. It can be a lot harder just physically demanding or physically doing it. It can be a lot harder if you have executive function disorder, so you have just a difficulty getting to it or organizing it or keeping at it. It can be difficult if you have dyspraxia or executive function or disorganized. You don't have the time for organization because you're poor, busy, whatever, so you don't have the time to clean up the mess in the first place, or you're more messy in the first place because of all those problems. It can lead to also using cleaning chemicals can really upset people with sensitive lungs and stuff like that, the people that need to keep it the most clean, and so many more little problems with the cleaning. It also means that janitors and workers have to work so much harder in places to keep them clean and stuff. Another problem is it can be a moving challenge for some people that have moving problems because the carpet can get stuck in certain shoes or wheels or other things. This is not as big of a problem. I've only heard about it tangentially, but it is a real concern for a limited amount of people. It's also more likely bent. So what are some alternatives and what's the pros and cons of each? Well, one is tiles. Tiles have some really good things about them and some really bad things. So tiles are usually more expensive, first of all, but they're usually a lot more durable, but they're harder to fix if once you do it. They're a lot more labor intensive to put in than almost everything else I'm going to talk about. They're a lot harder and colder, which might bother some people with issues, and if you hit yourself, it's a harder impact, which could actually in some cases be severe, usually not, but they're one of the easiest to clean. Laminate is a great option in the middle, in my opinion. And laminate, you can do so much with it. You can give it another problem with tile is that tile can have be very slippery for some people. So you have to think about a few tiles have textures, but not all. Laminate, you can easily texture to give it better slip or grip for everybody so they don't slip or hurt themselves. You can also make it in all the patterns and colors you want. Potentially, it's usually cheaper. It's usually pretty easy to clean, pretty durable, and doesn't take that much extra energy to heat up your house. Tiles, you might have to heat up your house a little extra because of the mass you have to heat up, and that rocks take long to heat up. Wood looks beautiful. It's not oftentimes very slippery compared to other ones. It can be, but not often. However, it's more easily damaged and warped, and that can be a problem over the long run. In terms of manufacturing, tile, there's been some really big controversy with mostly the granite countertop industry, but some wood tiles in general, in that a lot of them have been produced by, when you make them, you make a lot of powder, and some of these powders have been made in really bad ways that it's been hurting the lungs of people. And especially these people tend to be poor immigrants that do not know the dangers, or people that do not speak common language of a country like English as second language speakers in America do not know much English. And these dust can really hurt the lungs and affect them and causes a lot of health problems. It's like breathing any dust, coal dust and stuff. But it's a more recent problem that we really don't know the full extent. And that's also terrifying that we don't know the full extent. It's also a lot heavier to sip, which means more transportation energy cost, but I can't find anywhere to tell me the exact thing. That's all theoretical. Laminate is made from plastic, usually which we make now from fossil fuels, but again, I don't know how much it compares to the expense of shipping and mining and making tiles, so I can't say it, but it's made from fossil fuels. It is, but in the future, potentially we can make it from recycled sources without fossil fuels, and we only have to make the top the most pretty. The bottom can be recycled plastic. Laminate is also a lot easier to install, so it's a lot nicer on the workers and stuff like that, or people, and a lot quicker, cheaper. So it's also winning an environmentally friendly side, I would think, but I can't find numbers to give a thorough breakdown. Wood, it's controversial. Some wood is definitely mined from forests and stuff in a very environmentally unfriendly way. But now we have bamboo wood, which can grow really quickly, and you don't have to destroy forests, and when you make it, it is just as good and looks just as pretty. The problem with bamboo is an invasive species in a lot of places. And then you also have sustainable forests, so-called. But these sustainable forests, there's a lot of questions whether they're sustainable, because we've noticed that every time you cut down the trees and we plant them, it's less and less healthy, because we disrupted the ecosystem so much. So wood, I don't know if it's actually what's the actual best ones, but I'm just throwing out the different considerations people brought up. I will link something to the problems with tiles, but we're really just beginning to understand it. Well, I hope you found this whole talk informative and interesting. Please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers within a year, which is a really hard goal, but with all your help, I think I can do it. Also, if you have any comments, questions, idea, if you know my contact, DM me. I just don't want to give out my contact. Or you can leave it in the comment section behind, and I will try to respond quickly. Thank you very much.